For years, European and Canadians have been fed the same narrative. America is dangerous. Americans are ignorant. The culture is shallow. The food will kill you. And people believed it.
Foreigners would just think America is this place they would hear about on the news all the time. It's a horrible place.
There is a great lie called America is Falling that is being exposed. For many years, European media have always painted a picture of a devastated, chaotic America, with cold and distant people. But then the World Cup took place, and a massive culture shock erupted. Thousands of soccer fans landed here and realized America is actually more grand than in the movies. They openly admitted that they had been led by the media.
The stadiums, the energy, the fans, the food, the hospitality of Americans. Video after video of Europeans saying, I had no idea it was like this. Americans are actually so nice.
And the World Cup has allowed people outside of America to see America through their own eyes, not through their country's media eyes. This is incredible, and I couldn't be happier for America.
Is America really as bad as the media portrays? In the next 25 minutes, from the perspective of an expert, I will decode all the economic, infrastructural, and social shocks that make international tourists scream with joy. You won't be able to take your eyes off the screen for even a second. Okay, now buckle up, because we are about to experience a severe visual shock with our European guests called American infrastructure. Watch this viral clip from a British tourist driving in Texas for the first time. He was rented a Jeep Wagoneer by the rental company.
I bloody love driving in America. It's such a pleasure. It's such an absolute pleasure. We've had to change our car purely because we needed to, the old car had a service. But we've got this Jeep Wagoneer. It is massive. It is huge. The air conditioning is amazing. The screen is amazing. I'm even getting cold air blowing up my bottom. I love being in America. I love American cars. I love American roads. And we are having the best time of our lives.
For someone accustomed to the quaint neighborhoods and narrow streets of England, driving in America feels like piloting a spaceship. Have you ever wondered, why are things in America so absurdly large? It's very simple: geopolitics and 20th century planning. America is fortunate to possess vast land and an economy built entirely around car culture. After World War II, the U.S. poured billions of dollars into the interstate highway system, turning cars into the lifeblood of the nation.
So we have just finished packing for our first American road trip, and we are so excited to go. We've booked to go down to Nashville for a couple of days. We're stopping off in Illinois for a night on the way down there, and on the way back we're stopping off in Arkansas as well. And I'm just having a bit of a mind blank about what to take with us. I know the weather's going to be hot, but it's going to be rainy as well.
I have no idea how you guys do this. This is a 6, almost 7 lanes here. There's so many signs being like, go here, go here, go here. The biggest one that we have in my country for Sydney, which is a big city, is a 3-lane highway.
Which one am I going?
You're going right. You're going here. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
See what I mean? Like, it all comes up and creeps up on you so quickly. There's so many cars just going left and right. I don't know if that makes Americans good drivers or it just makes you brave drivers more than anything.
In contrast, European countries are bound by history. They have to preserve the architecture from the Middle Ages, and the roads were originally designed for horse-drawn carriages, so expanding the lanes is almost impossible. Seeing the bewildered British driving in Texas, one realizes that America's large-scale capitalism has created living standards that outsiders can only dream of. If you think the 2-3-lane roads are already beyond imagination, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right away, because the next infrastructure monster is truly the pinnacle of wealth. But this surprise doesn't just stop at the roads that Europeans travel. It has truly spread to the billion-dollar sports cathedrals available.
It's like, folks, this is a country that hosts 70,000 people plus for a college football game on a random Thursday. Qatar had to build stadiums.
Qatar has to build a series of new stadiums. Russia also has to build new ones. And the United States? When FIFA comes knocking, American officials just need to look around and say, "Oh, so our billion-dollar cathedrals can't be used?" And that's it. European football fans when stepping into super stadiums like SoFi or AT&T. They were completely blown away by the ultra-realistic 3, 6, 0-degree Jumbotron screen and the futuristic dome system. Some people even shouted with joy, "It's 35 degrees Celsius outside, but stepping in here feels as cool as a giant refrigerator."
In a giant cinema. That is how it felt anyway. I feel like I'm in a cinema, but it's a football stadium. It's cold. We made our way into the stadium, and despite 35-degree heat in the day, it was a cold stadium. It was air-conditioned. There was a full-on roof, and we caught up with some fans.
Walking up for our very first glance look at the stadium right behind us, but let's see the view from our seat. Which, funny enough, we're actually in row A, so we're nice little front row. Wow!
Guys, I'm gonna do a stadium live tour in Dallas. I'm really excited. I can see a local room and I can stand the pitch. See you later.
That is the proof of a super strong internal economy that international media always try to conceal. The US doesn't need to strain to show off because they are already living in the future. Imagine a regular college football game on a Thursday in the US easily fills 70,000 to 100,000 seats. That immense purchasing power and economic resources are the reasons why Americans are always proud of their country. America is not only wealthy in its billion-dollar public works, but that abundance also seeps into every egg carton, every cup of soda you drink daily. Let's move on to the next part to see how Europeans have been psychologically manipulated by American consumerism. Now, get ready to step into a place where American consumerism reaches a surreal level, leaving any international guest dizzy. Welcome to the world of gigantic portions and endless supermarket aisles.
Costco is bigger than my village, where I live. Whatever you want at Costco, it's there. You just show up and you could buy your whole life there.
Free samples? Yeah, man. I'm coming here every day. This place is huge. This is an entire grilled chicken.
Yeah, and?
It's only $5.
Yeah.
This entire room's a fridge.
Yeah.
It's bigger than my apartment. I have never seen this much meat in my life.
Looking at this guy's expression, it's really hard not to laugh. Like, why would someone need to buy 13 donuts at once? In England, we only buy 5 of them. For Americans, the motto is always, go big or go home. If you're going to play, play big.
I'm currently in Dallas Airport and I've just gone to Mackey's in America for the first time. I ordered a medium Fanta. Medium. They go, number 754, that's my number. And I see this big Fanta and I think, hold on, I don't think that's mine. And I go, did you say 754? They go, yeah, 754. I go up to the counter, look at the size. That's a medium, that's not even a large. That's bigger than our large is in England. The portion sizes are real.
Just kidding a bit. But from a deep analytical perspective, this is not merely a story about size, it reflects the enormous purchasing power of the American people along with a supply chain system that has reached maximum optimization. The packaging and distribution of goods in super large quantities help retail corporations minimize operational costs to the maximum extent, thereby providing consumers with prices that are absurdly low. Americans are too accustomed to this abundance, but for Europeans, who are used to small convenience stores and perfectly portioned meals, this is truly a shopping paradise with no escape. If you are also a fan of this oversized culture, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like, because the next story about dining services in America will surprise you even more. Now, let's move on to the battle between chips and salsa and the unique free refill culture. There is a story that went viral on social media about a Japanese male tourist experiencing a Mexican restaurant in the US for the first time. He recounted in a charmingly bewildered manner, We hadn't even had a chance to order anything, and a basket of chips and salsa was brought out, completely free and without us asking. With Japanese culture, receiving a gift means you have the responsibility to reciprocate. So, he ate with all his reverence. But as soon as the basket of bread was half empty, the waiter would smile and bring out a new basket and say, "It's bottomless, sir." As a result, when the main course was served, the poor guest was completely defeated by the politeness and could no longer eat. Not only the Japanese, but also British tourists were continuously astonished by the free refill culture. Buy a drink once and get unlimited free refills. They exclaimed, "I thought Americans were obsessed with money? This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen."
Tell me why I have only just found out that Americans get free refills when they go out for dinner. Yeah, literally go anywhere and you can get unlimited free drinks. This has never been a thing anywhere I have been in the UK, Europe.
Thanks so much. You're welcome.
From a behavioral psychology perspective, this is an extremely high-level business strategy. In Europe, every service is charged in detail, even a glass of plain water or a little extra sauce. But in the US, the principle of generosity before request is applied thoroughly. When restaurants proactively offer value first, they will activate the deeply ingrained sense of gratitude in the customer's subconscious. This encourages diners to be willing to spend more on premium main courses or happily leave generous tips for the serving staff. That's why capitalism in America is not cold at all. It is incredibly sweet and hospitable.
We have one of the greatest American inventions of all time. Free refills. I still love this. You pay for one coffee and then you can drink more than one coffee. You pay for one Coke and they just bring you more. To Americans, this is normal. To Europeans, this feels illegal. And free water. Americans do not understand how amazing this is. In Germany, you often have to pay for water in a restaurant, not just a little bit. Sometimes the water costs almost as much as other drinks. So when Europeans come to America and someone just brings them a huge glass of water for free, it almost feels like civilization has reached its final form.
That sweetness even turns the most ordinary places into promising tourist attractions. Look at the infamous Buc-ee's gas station with over 60 gas pumps.
Right, so I'm at a Buc-ee's for the first time, and the gas station, it's like an airport, mate. It's like an aircraft carrier. Look how far it goes. It's got to run an absolute marathon to get to the end of there. Yeah.
Like, bro.
Hey, buddy, this is just a regular gas station in America. And the truth is, Americans have turned a roadside rest stop into a miniature version of Disneyland. It shows a reality that in America, every daily experience is elevated to bring maximum happiness to people. The vast outside, and inside the gas station, there are automatic tortilla-making machines running noisily, long rows of jerky, beer-flavored cheese, popcorn, and even a mascot bear taking photos with customers. America always knows how to turn the ordinary into an experience as vibrant as a Hollywood movie. But this wealth and abundance are not just found on supermarket shelves, they are also evidenced by real income figures that make young Europeans envious. Let's move on to the next part to decode just how rich Americans really are. Now, we will temporarily step away from the baskets of fries and the giant supermarkets to delve into the core of today's video. This is where we use telling numbers to shatter the fog of prejudice from international media. Let's answer the most challenging question. How wealthy are Americans really? We often hear the European left continuously proclaiming, "Oh, life in Europe is much better because we have a free healthcare system, high social welfare, while America is in crisis and on the verge of collapse." But take a look at the chart showing purchasing power parity, PPP, and GDP per capita displayed on this screen. If we adjust for inflation and actual living costs, Americans per capita are the richest in the world. We are excluding microstates or tax havens like Monaco and are talking about countries with truly large populations. This comprehensive wealth of America is reflected in the very obvious aspects of daily life. The average number of cars per household, the spacious living areas, and even the massive sports infrastructure that other countries can only dream of building. Americans sometimes take this for granted, but for the world, it is an astonishing level of prosperity. If you find these macro analyses valuable and eye-opening, don't hesitate to hit like and subscribe to the channel right away. Your support is a great motivation for me to continue producing high-quality content like this. Now, let's delve deeper into an interesting practical aspect: the American dream versus the invisible ceiling in Europe. Let's listen to a British traveler share her surprisingly real experience when she came to the US. She recounted that she met tech-savvy Uber drivers in the US, and they were not just driving to make a living. They passionately talked about personal projects, ambitious side jobs, and each harbored an unwavering belief that they could completely build and own a major brand of their own. She exclaimed in amazement, "In America, there is no ceiling that limits your dreams. When I said I wanted to create a jewelry brand, the Americans excitedly asked, 'Oh, cool, where can I buy it?' When I said I wanted to start a jewelry brand, the American was excited and asked, 'Oh, cool, where can I buy it?' In contrast, if you talk about your startup dreams in England, people will look at you skeptically and say, 'Oh, good luck with that, mate.' On the contrary, if you were in England and talked about your dream of starting a business, people would look at you skeptically and say, 'Oh, good luck with that, mate,' as if they were certain you would fail. From an economic and social psychology perspective, where does this difference originate? The answer lies in the tax system and the risk-taking culture in the United States. The land of the free is designed so that rewards are always commensurate with personal effort and risk-taking. If you work hard, you have the right to keep most of your achievements to reinvest and advance. Conversely, the heavy burden of the social welfare system and the exorbitant tax rates in Europe inadvertently create a glass ceiling that stifles the aspirations of the youth to become wealthy. Ask young people in Europe what their actual salaries are and how difficult it is for them to own a home. You will understand why Americans are living in such a dynamic economy and leading the future. Americans have the right to be proud because they live in a system that always encourages those who dare to think, dare to act, and dare to succeed. However, the wealth in terms of material possessions and money is only half the story that creates the allure of the land of stars and stripes. What makes international guests cry and regret for having believed the lies on the internet is actually an intangible factor, rooted in the character of the American people. Let's move on to the next part to discover an even greater cultural shock: the astonishing kindness and hospitality of the American people. After going through the dry economic numbers, I want to pause with you a bit on this content, because this is where emotions and reality collide most powerfully. Many international tourists admit that the biggest shock for them when coming to the land of the stars and stripes is not the vast highways or the skyscrapers, but the American people. Young Europeans are spreading many posts and videos on social media. They were astonished to see the supermarket cashier proactively packing their items into bags with great enthusiasm. When they stand in line to buy coffee or just seem a bit confused because they are lost, immediately a stranger will step up, smile, and ask, "Hello, how is your day going? Do you need any help?" Those small interactions truly astonished the Europeans. Why is there such a big difference? In Europe, public spaces are like a frigid ocean, where people tend to be reserved, maintain maximum distance, and rarely strike up conversations with strangers. But stepping into America is like stepping into a warm fireplace. International media constantly slanders Americans as rude and selfish. But in reality, they are the most enthusiastic, open, and supportive people in the world. This enthusiasm is the identity, the DNA of a nation built on the spirit of freedom and compassion. If you also feel warm-hearted by the kindness of the people in the land of the flag, please leave a comment sharing your own story, and don't forget to like and subscribe to spread this positive energy. Kindness does not come from just one side. It also creates a beautiful cultural flow when international tourists set foot here. Look at the image of the Japanese fans in Dallas. After the match ended, instead of going home, they voluntarily stayed behind, picking up every bottle and piece of trash in the stands for a very simple reason. We are guests, and we don't want to make American workers work harder. Or look at the Scottish fans in Boston. No matter how drunk and rowdy they get, they still cause trouble in an extremely civilized manner. They only perform a traditional prank of placing cone-shaped barriers on the heads of statues, absolutely not vandalizing any shops or vehicles of the local residents. From a social philosophy perspective, this phenomenon offers a profound lesson. Why do even MAGA Republicans in Texas or Boston who are often labeled by the media as xenophobic and conservative, extremely love, warmly welcome, and integrate with these tourists? The answer is very clear. This is the normative intersection of the first world. When you visit another country as a civilized guest, respecting the laws, customs, and valuing the host country, you will receive tenfold hospitality and kindness from Americans. This connection proves that America has always been a symbol of openness, as long as we treat each other with respect and sincerity. It is this respect and these real experiences that have dealt a powerful blow to the long-standing lies of the mainstream media. So what is the true nature behind the left-wing media's articles that undermine America? Let's move on to the next part to expose the true face of these transnational lies. Now, we have reached the climax of today's video, where we dissect a very pressing question. Why do major television networks in Europe always try to paint a picture of America as a crumbling, desolate hell filled with crises? Why do they want their people to believe that America is a terrible place? The answer, from a systems analysis perspective, is actually a move to protect themselves. Just think about it. European countries operate based on a very large welfare model, accompanied by an exorbitantly high tax burden on their citizens. If the European people realize the truth that the average American is living a life of great abundance, possessing superior purchasing power, large houses, and a modern infrastructure ahead of its time, they will immediately question their own government. Why do we have to pay such huge taxes but earn less, have fewer opportunities to get rich, and live in much more cramped spaces compared to America? The smear campaign against America is precisely the way the mainstream media there soothes the people, making them feel satisfied with what they have at home. America is certainly not perfect. We have our own problems and internal crises to solve, just like any other country. But the real trips, the actual footsteps of thousands of international tourists, have completely shattered the fabricated lies. When the distorted lens of the media is removed, America reveals its most original essence: grander, more energetic, more generous, and more vibrant than any Hollywood movie you have ever watched since childhood. Americans have every right to be proud of a dynamic nation, where freedom and prosperity are not just slogans, but realities evident on every shelf and in every smile of the people. This journey of reversing perceptions by European guests is truly an inspiring story. But before we wrap up the video, let's take a look at the big picture and send a meaningful farewell. Let's move on to the outro to wrap up today's video. The journey of international guests swimming against the current of perception has given us a completely new perspective, shattering the long-held prejudices about the land of the stars and stripes. America may not be perfect, but the prosperity, vibrant energy, and hospitality here are undeniable real values. Now, it's your turn to speak up. If you have ever been to the US or are currently living here, what was your biggest culture shock? Is it the endless basket of chips and salsa at restaurants, or the astonishment of discovering that Americans don't need to buy a TV license like in England? Please leave your comments below so we can discuss together. If you want to continue uncovering the economic, political, and social truths hidden behind viral phenomena on social media, join me by clicking the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell. This video is based on real materials, macroeconomic data, and personal experiences of travelers shared publicly on social media. All analyses are for reference only, respecting cultural diversity and not representing all individuals or organizations mentioned in the video. Thank you for watching until these final moments. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.